Hi, Jonathan here, recording from the Quindu Lab. I wanted to focus today on talking about pivotal years. We believe at Quindu that there are 3 pivotal years in education: grade 3, grade 6, and grade 9. We call these pivotal years because these are the years that can really make a difference for students. For example, in 3rd grade, students are making that massive transition from learning to read to reading to learn. And that is a big shift in all that they do. Think about the kinds of instruction that these students received in 2nd grade, in 1st grade. They were always getting explicit instruction on learning how to read. In 3rd grade, the shift happens, and now they have to read something to understand it in order to use it, to do something with it. And so that is a major year for these kids, because if they're a little bit behind in their reading or they're not keeping pace with their peers, they're going to struggle because no longer are they learning how to read. We kind of move past that and we launch them into a completely different space in learning, and now they have to apply what they're reading in everything that they do, and we stop teaching reading, at least in a very explicit, methodical way. Then in 6th grade, students are transitioning, for the most part, from a elementary school to middle school, or from that age of being out of elementary and moving into middle school. And we call that a pivotal year because more support is removed. Students are not getting the same reading instruction that they were getting in elementary school. And so we call that a pivotal year. And there's a lot of social changes, as you know, especially parents out there, that happens with a middle schooler. And so that particular student is the 6th grader, is really on our radar. And then in 9th grade, which a lot of times you hear pivotal years about, people talking about 3rd grade and 6th grade. But 9th grade is one as well, because not only are they transitioning into high school, but all the texts become harder. Very little support is given in regard to reading. Lots of assignments coming at them. Students are required to read more, read faster. And so if the students are behind and they're moving into 9th grade, they're going to struggle. They're going to have low self-esteem. They're going to experience self-doubt. They might experience low grades because their reading ability is behind. And at Quindu, we want to really make sure that we're being proactive and targeting these 3 pivotal years. Now, let me talk about targeting. A lot of times in education, especially with our response to intervention programs now, you will see schools respond after the fact. They'll take information and then they are reactionary. And then we put students in tier 2. Intervention, which is great. That's what they need if they're falling behind in their classes or if they need some sort of social emotional support. Like, I understand, that's great. But what if we were proactive? What if we were able to take kids, no matter if they're behind or if they're at grade level, and know that with these pivotal years, the 3rd graders, the 6th graders, the 9th graders, and we gave them something like Quindu. We gave them a reading program that explicitly taught them reading skills. And we anticipated the challenge that these kids are going to experience. Instead of waiting until they struggle, instead of waiting for them to fall behind, we reach our hand out and we give them support before they struggle, before they start developing a low self-esteem. It's much harder to pull a student out of a hole than it is to pave a way and make those holes covered before they even become holes for the kids. If we take Quindu and we ask our students to enroll in Quindu and do the reading practice all year in 3rd grade, all year in 6th grade, all year in 9th grade, you're going to see a tremendous difference in ability, in skill level, in attitude, in self-esteem, because you're giving them that explicit reading instruction in a fun and exciting environment, giving them 40 or 50 extra texts a year to practice and to really take those new reading skills and apply them, you're not going to see as many kids falling into tier 2 intervention for response to intervention. You're not going to find that because we're doing what the whole pyramid tells us to do. In tier 1 is classroom instruction, and we are using Quindu during class instruction or at home, and we are giving the kids the support they need before they actually need it. We're giving it to them as a proactive approach instead of a reactive approach. And I want you guys to think about that because I think it's really important to make sure for all kids, whether they are grade level or below grade level, that we are anticipating that support that they need and giving them that support. In third grade, that transition can be supported and the kids can do well and not feel as though reading has changed so much for them if you give them something like Quindu to support. In the sixth graders, as they transition with less support and they transition to reading more, they're going to learn the skills that they're going to need for deep reading comprehension. And then in ninth grade, as texts become more sophisticated, as they become longer and more complex, they're going to have that practice and the coaches inside of Quindu helping them grow as readers and keep up with the demand and rigorous reading that they're going to experience in high school and prepare them for advanced classes and prepare them for junior and senior year. So let's think about how we can be proactive. Let's think about how we can use tier 1 and support kids before they even get to tier 2 because it's so much harder to pull them out. Something to think about. Have a good day.